I'm Bob Joseph. Today is Monday, August 17th, 2026. Hello. Let's do a show, shall we? 607-772-1290. WNBF. It's Open Line Monday. All lines are being opened now by the power vested in me by the people that hold the license to radio station WNBF in Binghamton, New York. So the lines are now at your disposal. The lines are accessible, 607-772-1290. We will entertain calls from most viewers. Some restrictions will apply. All right, hope you had a tremendous weekend. My weekend was nothing short of tremendous. Another fine summertime weekend. Summertime, when the living is easy. So if you have any thoughts, I know you're saying, but Bob, how could you be in such good mood when the war is raging on? Well, that's an interesting point. It is true that the unnecessary war is raging on and shows no end in sight. But the truth is, you have to sometimes decide you're going to be happy even when certain things are not going the way they ought to. I can't control the war. I cannot control the person who started it. And the sadness is really sad. The truth is we can't stop the war. Only one person can. Basically, the person who started the war is now responsible for finding peace. And the memorandum of understanding has officially expired. Not that we had any hope for it in the first place, but anyway, just confirming all of our fears and suspicions. There was not going to be peace in our time. I mean, not for the next 2.5 years. We have to wait for the next administration to come in with a virtual shovel and start cleaning up the magnificent mess. The biggest mess in the history of the world. All right, 9:14. Let's play Radio Roulette. And, the Wheel of Mischief stops on line 7. Good morning. John from Binghamton.
The comments and opinions expressed by me are in no way the comments of the radio station, the management, or the host.
Thank you. We're going to start doing disclaimers all the time. Disclaimers at the top of the show, disclaimers before and after every call. Sometimes if a call goes longer than 40 seconds, that type of disclaimer just to show that we are afraid of our shadows. What's on your mind, John?
Well, Bob, I'll be speaking at 3 meetings at the IDA, the committee meetings, beginning at 11:30 on Wednesday. Then 15 minutes later at another committee, and then the IDA meeting itself, I'll be speaking. It was a fracas the last time because they went to this agenda items only. They interrupted me. I wasn't credited for additional time, so we hope that it goes better Wednesday. Some interesting information on IDAs. You know, when I file a FOIL request, and it's gotten so absurd now with the IDA that they are saying that they can respond by February, the end of February, to a request made a few weeks ago. What I did is I did a test. I asked for 10 minutes of emails, just 10 minutes of emails. And it's gotten so absurd now that they're that they're claiming that they're going to additional expense by processing my request. And then I filed a FOIL indicating how much exact time and how they were keeping track of it. But every time I do a FOIL, what invariably happens at the next meeting is some resolution is enacted to try to circumvent my FOIL request. And in this meeting, what they're doing, I've requested some things about the relationship with this new law firm, particularly the fact that they're apparently occupying space in the IDA building, and they list it as a branch office. So I asked for a lease or what kind of arrangement the IDA has with their attorney other than paying them the retainer. And all of a sudden now they are introducing this resolution about attorney-client privilege, trying to expand that definition, which is already fully enshrined in law, to try to, I assume, not comply with my FOIL request. The other two other interesting items. One is this Vanguard project on Clinton Street. That tax pilot now is at 30
Is that
years.
like the one with 8,000 apartments near, on Clinton, east of Jarvis, or 12,000 apartments?
Yes, unprecedented. The tax pilot's going to go for 30 years. So we went in the history of the IDA, we went to 3 years, to 10, to 12, to 20, to 22, and now it's at 30 years.
Why can't they do it for 100 years? Why stop at 30? Why not 250 years?
Yeah.
I mean, is there any real limit? I would think the sky's the limit. Why be so wimpy when you could do a 1,000-year pilot?
Well,
I mean,
don't know.
is there anything on the books that would prevent that? A 1,000,000-year pilot.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
and interesting, this is going to be in phases, so one would assume that the first phase gets 30 years, and then if the second phase ever comes to fruition, the clock starts again.
I think it will. And who knows? There might be a third phase, and then a fourth and a fifth. Maybe it'll take over Clinton Street. So suddenly the nerve center of Binghamton will be on Clinton Street with thousands of people residing there near Clinton and Jarvis.
And apparently, a couple meetings ago, I looked over whatever was a financial piece, and I sort of said that this was the tell that the IDA was depleting their cash. They always had around $5-6 million, and they had way less overhead expense before this IDA executive director was installed and gave everybody raises. But they now depleted their cash. They went from roughly $5-6 million to about $600,000. Their overhead's over $250,000 a year, just in salaries, or more rather, and they've depleted their cash. So now they're going for a credit line, but they're pledging essentially all their assets. They're pledging the Westover site, the General Electric site, 600 Main Street. They're pledging their building. They're pledging an assignment of rents to their tenants in their building. They're pledging all their Treasury securities in the brokerage account, and this is because this tech park. They've essentially, what they've done is they've ignored any kind of counterparty risk, went full speed ahead in purchasing property on the basis of grants that have not been paid yet. Maybe because the legislation isn't even enabled yet. So, and I want people to understand what they're doing. They're going to create a spin-off organization. They've already created the bones of that organization.
What can they call it? What can they call it? What will they call it? John Co?
To tell you the truth, I forgot the name. I think it is being spun out of the LDC. I'll look it up.
JFB Limited.
Yeah, and so they're using IDA assets to buy land and create this shell, pay legal fees. Now they're out of money. Now they're borrowing more money from the IDA, which is going to be filtered to this subsidiary, which I believe will contain a whole new cast of characters, new patronage workers, new office space, more overhead. And, Ithaca, Cornell's tech park.
Oh, that didn't go well, did it?
No. And there's no reason to think that with the muscle of Cornell University, if they couldn't pull it off in Ithaca.
Well, what about the muscle of SUNY Binghamton? What about the muscle of SUNY Broome? I mean, that's a lot of muscle.
These are just...
SUNY Broome and SUNY Binghamton ought to be at least equivalent to Cornell, Johnny.
These are grant chasers. They're not businesses. They're not entrepreneurial activities.
Hey, grants are there to be granted.
Yeah, but anyway, I just want to say that, and the public can see the videos. They'll be on the website for you, or they could watch it when it streams. But
maybe they'll put it on C-SPAN. The Congress isn't in session this week, is it? Maybe it'll be on C-SPAN 4.
Well, we're going to go after them hard and heavy.
All right. Well, be cautious. Be respectful.
Okay. See you later, Bob.
922 WNBF. Be cautious. Be respectful. 607-772-1290. What's in your wallet? Don't blame me. I'm a product of capitalism. America, home of capitalism. So what's on your mind? Anything of interest? Again, looks like the war won't end, but you already knew that. Looks like gas prices will go up. You already knew that. Ah, well. It's not going to stop me from being happy. No, sirree, Bob. Stay connected using the free WNBF app powered by the Galt Auto Team. This is WNBF on air and online at WNBF.com. And, of course, on the app. Download the WNBF app and stay connected. As we continue along our merry way, Airport Road Bob in the town of Maine. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bob. Listen, I want to thank John for all of the things that he does. A lot of people have different opinions, but John Solak is an amazing individual that digs for the dirt and puts people on notice. And I'd like to thank him for all that he does. And I would like to also say that he's on the right track. This Tech Park project has been nothing but a fairy tale. And he's right in that they've spent a lot of money buying properties, which is part of the lawsuit that the town of Maine has filed and is waiting for judges to decide on. And he's right in that they have not received any money for those properties yet, as they had to release the seeker, the environmental review, prior to applying for that money. For all the people out there following the tech park, against the tech park, it's not over. We now have documented information. The IDA is now the owner of an illegal hazardous waste dump. We residents will be pursuing our options there with DEC. DEC will be coming to inspect the properties. Like I said, we're not giving up on this. We're looking to keep our town of Maine residential, rural as it is. And based on everything that Stacy has told us over the years, they don't even have any companies on board to come here. They don't even know what they're going to do.
Well, maybe IM3 will be resurrected. The all-new IM3 New York Plus.
Your humor, Bob, is always great.
It's especially impressive on a Monday morning. I was looking through some of my archives, and honestly, Airport Road Bob, some of the stuff we've been told over the last 10, 20, 30, 50 years in Broome County, it strains credulity. I mean, the pie in the sky, whether it's been private developers, public developers, elected officials, candidates. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that they're all big liars, but man, I'm thinking of doing a story, just the lie, well, not the lies, because that sounds judgmental.
Misinformation.
I don't even know misinformation. We'll say the projects we were promised over the last 10 years in Broome County, whether it's Endicott, Vestal, Binghamton, and so on. I mean, maybe I'll just do a top 10 list. Because what I've discovered, no matter how much effort I put into writing my stories, a very small percentage actually read the stories, and an even smaller percentage read the whole thing. So I know people have the attention span of a gnat, so I'm not going to put too much effort into it. Maybe it should only be the top 5 projects we were promised over the last decade that failed to materialize. Because, I mean, I could come up with, I think, easily 10, 15, 20 just from the last decade. But again, what good would it do? Because only people like you and John from Binghamton would actually read the entire article. The rest of the people would look at the headline and go, it has nothing to do with Chick-fil-A, so I pass.
Well, we the residents have an option this year. Election season is coming. My recommendation to everybody out there that's tired of the same old story and the same old bull hockey, their stuff, whatever. It's time to change the leadership roles in Broome County. Too many of these people are so embedded and so what's the word I want to use? They're all connected, unfortunately.
Well, everybody's connected.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't, in all seriousness, I mean, look what happened with City Council when they seated all new members. It was chaos for the first several months. So you can't do that. You need some continuity. I mean, if
we need change.
Well, we always need change, but that's not just at the local level. That's at the state and national level. Heck, the global level. We need lots of change in every institution. And I mean every institution. We need new blood. But I'm not saying, there used to be a guy who hosted a talk show here in Binghamton, and he would always say, throw the bums out. It's overly simplistic. I say, yeah, elect new people, but keep at least some of the current bums for the sake of continuity. And again, I'm not being judgmental. That's what that other guy called them. I believe they're public servants, but they're not all bad. And again, if say, starting January 1st of 2027, all local, state, and national governments started with new people, let's face it, there's a learning curve. There's people don't know even where the restroom is. So you do need a certain level of continuity. It's not as simple as just throw everyone out. Be precise. There are some, I will say, there are some elected officials who are doing, I think, a rather decent job, and some maybe not as much. You have to vote with precision, not just with the attitude everybody is bad. I mean, I hear that from some people. Oh, every elected official or every radio host is bad or every journalist is bad. It's like, well, if that's the way you think about things, then you have faith in nothing and no one. So you have to have faith in some people and some institutions to an extent.
I have faith in Bob Joseph. You have a great week. You have a great week, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. It's 9:33, WNBF. Hey, I am a voice of reason in a land where reason is rare. 607-772-1290. It's going to be a great week. I can feel it now. You know how you get that feeling? Oh, what a feeling. It's like when you buy a car and you get it for under $10,000. Oh, what a feeling to be living in 1990.
Mike,
9:37, we do the time checks just to prove that we're really here, unlike those other stations where, in most cases, no one is there. Here, WNBF, here I am. And I love it. Here's the forecast from the National Weather Service. Cloudy right now. Maybe becoming partly sunny at some point, but at the moment it seems cloudy to me here in downtown Binghamton. Chance of showers and thunderstorms. It will become partly sunny, they claim. There also is the assertion there will be areas of fog before 11 a.m. And I guess that's accurate. Today's high, 83. Partly cloudy tonight, low 62. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 82. And sunny on Wednesday, although there's a risk, a serious risk of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. No, a spin-up shower and a pop-up thunderstorm, high 83. Right now, they claim it's 69, 21 Celsius. The air quality is very good. Air quality index is 19, so we're going to have to contact our friends in Canada to ask if they could send a little smoke our way. All right, what else is going on here? WNBF.com providing some solid content. Here's one. Dog food recalled in New York and Pennsylvania. So if you have a dog or if you eat food, then I guess you should check that out. Who wants to be eating bad dog food? Bad dog food. Bad. You're a bad dog food. Anyway, you say there's some kind of a recall, so personally, I recommend that you prepare every meal for your pup with only choice natural ingredients. Of course, we also have an overview of that shooting that happened downtown a few days ago near St. Mary's. They arrested a guy and charged him with attempted murder for mysteriously, allegedly, ostensibly firing a gun near the church. Who would fire a gun at 8:20 p.m. near St. Mary's? I don't know. But anyway, the details, the guy who is accused of doing that has now been taken into custody. Charged with attempted murder and 2 felony weapon possession counts. See all the relevant details at WNBF.com. The investigation's ongoing, so if you know anything more about why some guy would be firing a gun at 8:20 p.m. near St. Mary's, around Fayette and Court Street, I guess the cops would like you to call in. Snitches get stitches. That's what somebody told me. It's like, what do you mean? What's that supposed to mean? Bob, you know what it means. That's why I'm afraid. I'm afraid to tell everything I know. Speaking of St. Mary's, of course, I have, I'm not going to name the person's name. I'm going to protect her identity. A co-worker who works here at the station, she texted me. I knew she was going to be working at the St. Mary's Bazaar Friday afternoon and Friday evening. She said that she would. She told me that on Thursday. And I said, well, do they have lamb speedies? And she said, Bob, if they do, I'll text you. So at approximately 4:57 p.m. on Friday, I received an urgent text from my colleague, and she said that we have lamb speedies. Quantities are limited. So I zipped right down to the St. Mary's Bazaar in Binghamton, and here's a quick clip of what happened next.
Lamb speedies here at the St. Mary's Bazaar. I cannot believe it's happening. This is happening right here in downtown Binghamton while quantities last. I'm not kidding. Get here while the getting's good. Oh, yeah.
Everywhere I go, people think I'm the lamb speedy guy. What's all this about lamb speedies? Aren't you a member of the PETA? It's like, well, maybe I am. Maybe I am. I don't think there's anything that says you can't be a member of the PETA and enjoy lamb speedies. And Seems that they're compatible, in my opinion. Anyway, parenthetically, that was the first time I've ever been to St. Mary's Bazaar, so I enjoyed it. I saw a few people. Some of our viewers were there, and everybody was having a good time. I had a great time. So thank you to all the volunteers who worked so hard to prepare and then pull it off, because I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put on these events. So thank you to all at St. Mary's for a nice summertime event. And thank you for the Lamb Speedies. Got to renew my membership in PETA. That reminds me. It's 9:44 at WNBF. The silence of the Lamb Speedy. Tom from Endwell. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. How you doing?
Good.
So, I just got back into town again, and I was kind of just scrolling at night, and there's been a lot of people posting about, like, the amount of crime that's being committed in Broome County, and it's not really being reported. And, you know, you had that shooting, and they still don't have that solved. What do
you mean it's not being reported? I reported it. How many more stories could I do?
No,
I think I did the
not
original story on a Saturday morning. I got myself out of bed on a Saturday morning to go to the scene and talk to the police chief. Then I did a follow-up, and then I followed up on the police who've been monitoring an after-hours business nearby. I'm fascinated when people say it's not reported. How much more reporting do you think I should do about that one incident?
Well, when I was kind of scrolling, and then I started reading the post, and people were talking about an old guy. He almost got carjacked.
All right, don't tell me about things you know nothing about. An old guy. If you have information about crimes that aren't being reported, email them to me. And just because somebody posts something online doesn't mean it's true.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Well, then don't traffic in gossip and innuendo. If you have the facts, email them to me, and then I'll look into it. You make an assertion. You call in making an assertion that a shooting that happened a little over a week ago wasn't covered. I covered it. Every other news agency in town covered it. So, to make assertions that things aren't being covered. Now, some people are going out of their way to post things that exaggerate actual incidents. So if you have specific information, send an email to me, bob@WNBF.com, and then I can look into it and get the facts.
Well, I think when somebody gets hurt really bad or killed, it's reported.
Right. That's the way it's always been. As far as relatively, and again, I emphasize, listen to the wording, relatively minor crimes, they don't get reported anymore. There aren't enough reporters. It used to be if somebody fell off their bike at Court and State Street, that would be a story in the next day's newspaper. Or even the afternoon when we had the evening press, they reported it all because they had lots of reporters and because the police and the fire department and hospitals provided information. Now, the police, the fire department, and hospitals provide very minimal information. So, and there are fewer reporters. So, yeah, the truth is we aren't getting the same level of news that we got 20, 30, or 40 years ago.
Well, somebody reported a DoorDash cam.
Don't tell me about someone reported something. If you have information about crimes in Broome County that haven't been reported by WNBF and you think they should have been, email it to me.
Well, I didn't say reported. I said recorded from a door cam of shooting happening over by Franklin.
Again, Send the information to me. Don't call in and tell me something you've seen online. If you have information about crimes that should be reported by WNBF, email it to me, and then I'll look into it and try to obtain the facts.
I don't know, but sometimes you're all right.
Well, no, I'm always all right. Sometimes you don't want to play by the rules. This is a real radio and news operation, not somebody who just puts up videos because somebody sent them to me, and I have no independent verification of the facts. If people want to be reporters, they should go out and report. I actually go out and report. I went to Whitney Avenue to report. I went out to Fayette Street to report. You know, a lot of people can sit around and post stuff from their laptop, stuff that they've seen online or stuff they've been sent without any context.
Bob, the moral of the story is there's a lot of serious crimes.
The moral of the story is there's always been a lot of serious crime. I have no evidence that there's more serious crime today in Binghamton than there was 50 years ago. Well, there you go. You talk. This is what happens when you talk sense and deal in facts. Instead of acknowledging that people are paying too much attention to stuff that they see online that's not corroborated. I didn't say it didn't happen. News organizations, whether it's WNBF or Press Connects or WSKG or BinghamtonHomepage.com or Fox 40 or 12 News or even BU Pipe Dream, we have to strive to get facts. I will say this. When I receive a news tip about something that really happened, and then I contact the appropriate people, usually, in most cases, usually, they'll work to provide some information. Now, having said that, do I get as much detailed information as I would like as a reporter? No, I don't. But if you have information, I think I've said this on many occasions, if you have information about something that seems quite serious, criminal incident, vehicle crash, a serious fire, somebody who was seriously hurt, email it to me, bob@wnbf.com. I will do my best to look into it. If I can get some facts about something and it's a fairly serious story, we'll report on it. If I can't, I'll probably get back to you and say I looked into it and I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I cannot independently corroborate it, so I personally won't report it. As far as what people put online, well, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of online. You could put anything you want online. 607-772-1290. As far as ongoing investigations, for example, we mentioned the shots fired case on Fayette Street from last Thursday night. It's an ongoing investigation. There might be more charges filed, or maybe police will at some point be able to release more information about what was going on there. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Same with the homicide investigation from a bit over a week ago on the east side. At some point, and I think that point will be soon, the police will release more information about their investigation into how a man wound up dying after being shot in the head at 5:48 on a Saturday morning, and how another man was seriously hurt. But in the meantime, they're trying to locate suspects. And they're not, as much as I want to call them, I will not keep calling them and say, what's going on? What's going on? What's the status? Give me a status report. Because I'll tell you why. They won't. with ongoing investigations. That's what they'll say, politely but firmly. It's under investigation, and we are pursuing all aspects of the case. 607-772-1290. This is Bob Joseph, working to explain how some things work in 2026. You're listening to WNBF and WNBF.com. And let us return to the busy phones. Joe from Greater Ithaca. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Boy, pretty dark this morning, wasn't it?
Oh, it was gloomy. It was the gloom and doom scenario. Gloom and doom.
Gloom and doom here. Boy, I thought maybe somebody changed the clocks or something like that.
Yeah, I thought when we weren't looking, they switched us over to a new kind of time, Trump time. TST, well, anyway, Trump Standard Times.
Yeah, just to talk about time like that, this daylight time thing. I hope they keep the daylight time, because this kind of problem, the only issue I've ever heard is, well, it's going to be dark in the morning. Yes, it will be, but it may be dark in the morning anyway in the wintertime. Also, it's only for 4 months you're talking about here. That's going to change.
Right, and who cares if kids are waiting for the school bus in the pitch dark? Well, that's not my problem.
The thing is, that happens all the time anyway. Just depending on where you are in the time zone and when you go to school. Some of them start very early. They experience dark days no matter what. With this, I think
I'll also predict, regardless of what Congress does about daylight saving time, there are more dark days ahead of us the next 2.5 years.
Oh yeah, very dark. But the real benefit is having like the time in the evening to go do some things and get some sunlight.
Sure. Well, in the winter, you've got more time to mow the lawn.
Yeah, well, to use your snow blower or something like that. Or also, it's nice when you get out of work and have to clean the snow off the car. You're not in the dark. Oh, that is depressing.
You should hire someone to do it for you. That's what billionaires do. Hire someone to get your car ready and bring it around to the front door.
Well, actually, it'd be better just to hire somebody to give you a ride to work.
A driver.
Yeah,
a driver. And I'm not talking about the Uber. I'm talking about having your own driver.
Right. They open the door for you and everything, and
they're wearing the black cap, and they treat you with respect.
I try to get a car ride like that to a chauffeur-driven thing, and they don't wear the hats anymore. They'll do the other stuff, but no more hats.
They will for an extra $10.
Well, if they don't even have one, you got to bring your own.
Well, you get one. Go down to what do they call it there? What's that discount store? Go down to the discount store and get a cap, and give it to your driver and tell her to wear it. There's an extra $10 a day.
Is there a haberdashery in Binghamton?
Gosh, I hope so. I don't know. I don't have a need.
Well, that was like the, I like to buy another fedora, okay? And the thing is, you get online, but you never know what you're getting with that.
You get it from Temu. Temu has a deal. All right, well, we'll see what happens with the time. Thank you, Joe. That's the story from Greater Ithaca, making contemporary news. But don't worry, we've only just begun. 2 hours of additional calls and potential guests are just around the corner, so don't touch that dial. I'm Bob Joseph.
News, talk, and information for Binghamton and Central New York. This is News Radio, WNBF Binghamton, a Town Square media station.
607-772-1290. Trying to make it interesting every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 till noon. There is so much going on. By the way, if you're trying to travel in downtown Binghamton today, a lot of luck. Remember that great song? What was it? The 70s. It's gonna take a lot of luck. Yeah, a lot of luck. Driving around. A lot of luck. I, of course, am not one to complain about traffic issues when there is road work underway. And there is a remarkable amount of road work whether it's on 17 or 86 or, well, of course, not 434. They want that to turn into a complete hellscape before they fix that. And if Kathy Hochul wants to do the people of Vestal a favor, apparently Kathy Hochul assumes everybody in Vestal will vote for her in November, regardless of how bad the Vestal Parkway gets. That is, talk about a debacle. And the DOT, trust me, the fine men and women of the Department of Transportation know full well about the conditions of 434 from the Tioga County line to the Binghamton line. They know it needs work. They want to fix it. Trust me. I've had the conversations. I understand. I have the insights. Even though, let's face it, if you work for New York State and you talk to a reporter, you could get fired. But anyway, at great personal risk, some DOT people have told me just how disappointed they are with the conditions of the 434. And it's not their fault. Remember, all they can do is keep patching it, Band-Aids. Hey, if they're not given the resources, if they don't get the money and the materials and the orders to fix it up, and you would think we have, what, thousands, tens of thousands of students and professors and everybody converging on SUNY Binghamton this week, one would think that Governor Hochul would find some money if she had $1 billion for the beautiful new stadium at Orchard Park. One would think she could find, I don't know how much it would cost, $15 million? I don't know. Whatever it costs to fix up the Vestal Parkway, just fix it. Somebody told me, well, to fix it right is going to cost a lot more money. I know. That's the truth. Just like with the big dip on 17 or 86 or whatever number they want to give it. You got to fix it right, or else you're going to keep coming back. These things don't fix themselves. The DOT can only do the best they can. And that's why with the big dip on 17, or the bridge that keeps sinking there on Shenango Street, or the Vestal Parkway, don't blame DOT. Don't blame DOT. It's up to Kathy Hochul to find money. Especially, this is the time that things are supposed to get done. Vestal Parkway should get done this year. It should be done by Halloween. And that way, everybody in Vestal can vote for Kathy Hochul because they'll have renewed confidence that she cares about them. But she must be taking it for granted that everybody in Vestal, of course, I get it. Everybody in Vestal is going to vote for her. It's, a liberal, progressive bastion, as it should be. Whereas Binghamton is conservative, Vestal is liberal. Hey, everybody has their place. If you live in Vestal, you're probably a progressive. If you live in Binghamton, you're more likely to be a conservative. But still, all people deserve a nice, smooth ride on the Vestal Parkway. Not just the natives here, but the people from downstate, the people from Westchester, the people from the city, the people from Long Island. They all deserve smooth travel on Route 434. And Governor Hochul is missing an opportunity. She could get a lot of political mileage out of calling in the program late this morning and announcing a special project to repave Route 434 from the Binghamton line to the Tioga County line and say, I feel your pain, Broome County. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, whether you're conservative or progressive, I feel your pain. We're going to fix Route 434 and we're going to make it a beautiful parkway. Jesse from Owego, you're on the air.
Boy, I have another bridge to sell you if you believe that. By the time that happens, Bob, from our accidental governor, I will already have assumed room temperature. No, not in my lifetime. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it will happen in your lifetime. I'm just saying it's not happening this year. It's the DOT, local DOT, they're unanimous in their agreement that 434, the Vestal Parkway, needs to be totally repaved. They just don't have the money. If Kathy Hochul freed up the money and got the contracts in place in time, they could get that done this construction season. It's not going to take a miracle, but she doesn't have the political will. And I'll tell again, my theory is she thinks that because Vestal leans heavily Democrat and is filled mainly with liberals and progressives, she's taking Vestal for granted. She doesn't think she's going to gain many votes if she has the parkway repaved, and she may be right. It might be a wise calculation.
Well, what were her two political miracles? Let's see. Legal weed shops. Of course, that was just riding the...
And it wasn't her. It was Andrew Cuomo. Don't give Kathy Hochul credit for weed. That was Cuomo.
I just said that. I said she was riding off the shirt tails of Cuomo. Exactly. Yes, I agree with you.
And she tries to take credit for it by doing a photo op here on Court Street at the weed shop.
Oh, I know.
Instead of coming here to the studio to answering questions from viewers like you.
Yeah. And then, of course, we got that beautiful Buffalo Bill Stadium. Now, there's another political miracle. Now, she can take credit for that. I don't think Cuomo even have an inkling of that happening.
No, and let's be clear. Cuomo is not a Bills fan, so that's one reason why he had to resign.
I did not know that. Well, that's right. He's Governor Gumby with the big hands, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he had to resign.
Yeah.
It hasn't received that much attention. The main reason he had to quit was because he wasn't a Bills fan. He was a fan of some NFL team in New Jersey.
Hey, speaking of getting my mind off my gut feeling when a quarter of it came down, you were talking about bad dogs. I'm like, it was pretty funny. I had to get my mind off of cleaning up the mess anyways. There was corgi races going on in Vilnius. I forget where that is. That's somewhere in Russia. But it was hilarious watching those dog races. That was probably the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. I never realized they did that before. And it's becoming pretty famous. Have you ever checked that out?
Nope. But I'll say this. Dictators always do stuff like that to distract from the Epstein files.
Yeah, you may have a point there.
I mean, that's one thing Trump and Putin have in common. They stage these things just so we forget about the Epstein files.
Well, now we got North Korea involved now. How they want to de-escalate the war stuff, when you practice and all that.
Well, now, so what this is weird because I can't understand why Trump is going after the affections of a dictator who runs North Korea. Here I thought he was happy with Natalie Harp.
Anymore, I don't know, Bob. I'm trying to keep track of all this stuff going on, and it's like, what in the heck is going on?
Well, I mean, it's none of my business, but I'll just say the problem with all these soap opera narratives is they're clogging up my feed. I'm serious. I have to be on Twitter because I'm a journalist who needs to be on Twitter. So my feed gets clogged up with all these rumors and innuendos. I don't care about anyone's private life. It's none of my business. But when 98% of my feed is focused on, how can we put this? Who's canoodling with whom? That's what the New York Post has always got people out. Well, not just the New York Post, but probably the Inquirer. They have people out with their phones taking pictures of people canoodling.
You know what, Bob? Anymore, I've gotten to the point where the only news source I start to watch anymore is Babylon Bee.
Oh, that's too bad. That's all I can say. That's too bad, man.
Well, that's today's societal evolution. I mean, what are you going to do?
What? So the thing about it is just you like being, I mean, it's funny. It's funny to a point. The problem with these publications that deal in humor and satire is that it gets boring really fast. And it also, they're competing with reality. So Babylon Bee, actually, what the heck? Let me look it up and see what they're...
Hey, why not?
Yeah, because, again, the stuff, and they say their line is fake news you can trust. So here's one. Kentucky Derby convenes committee to determine what is a horse. That's not funny.
Yeah, sure is.
It's not. No, it's not funny. Here's one. After observing Adam for 2 minutes, God decides man's going to need a helper. Ooh, AOC? I think not. Kamala Harris issues dire warning that Save America Act could result in America being saved. This is written by AI. Here's one. Mamdani grocery stores to feature innovative new queue where you wait for loaves of leavened flour products. It's not funny.
I think so.
All right. Well, and humor is in the eye of the beholder. Let me get this off my screen. I guess I'm just not easily amused. I used to be back when I was a kid. I used to be easily amused. Anyway, hope you have a good day.
Yep. and if you don't laugh, you cry.
That's exactly true. That is precisely the point. Tony from Johnson City. Good morning. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, I'm fine. What's going on there? Any problems with the roads there in JC?
I was hoping they'd retape 201.
No, they're waiting till the 201 Skyway collapses. I mean, the flyover. Yeah, it's another one that's in dire condition. The 201 and 434. Kathy Hochul had better get down here and order some emergency resurfacing. The 201, and it's understandable that it's in bad shape just because of the volume. Who knows how many vehicles pass over there every day? I haven't seen the recent traffic count, but tens of thousands of vehicles, including heavy trucks, are using the 201 every day, and they should have done it during the summer. Now the students are back, so if they did emergency repaving, they'd have to do it all at night.
Oh, maybe if Blakeman gets in, something will happen.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you're liberal.
Yeah, he is too. Look, how much do you think he cares about Binghamton?
I think Binghamton's his number one priority.
If he cared about Binghamton, he might have called into the program by now.
Oh, they'll be calling in later.
Okay, well, the lines are open. Now, whoever does it, whether it's Governor Blakeman or Governor Hochul or Governor Gumby, whoever does it is going to get a word of appreciation from me. Whoever repaves the 201 and 434, I will offer my thanks and praise.
Hopefully it happens.
Oh, yeah, hopefully it happens before that flyover collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it collapses. Did you see that bridge that they're building in Maine collapsed?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they were coming up with new technology using composite beams, and they learned that these new lightweight composite beams apparently don't last. They were building the bridge, and the other day it just fell. And they're building the bridge. They said the good news about the composite beams that they designed at the University of Maine is they were lighter, and they had a 100-year lifespan. And it didn't even last before they got the bridge done.
Interesting.
Well, terrible. Tragic. Appreciate your call. Richie from the ward, good morning.
Well, good morning. You got too many topics to talk about. Tell you the truth.
Hey.
The Vestal Parkway should have been remodeled millions of years ago. And Hochul's not to blame for that. How many governors have gone by since that Parkway has been narrowed.
No, it was
Binghamton University.
it was redone. I mean, WNBF News had a story about it. It was redone about a decade ago when Andrew Cuomo was governor. But the problem about it was they didn't do it. To appropriately address Route 434 in many spots, the Vestal Parkway, it needs more than simple repaving. It's complicated. There are actual structural issues that need to be addressed, because if you repave it now, say suddenly if Kathy Hochul showed up with some blacktop and some equipment and repaved the parkway this coming weekend, it still wouldn't last that long, because there are some underlying issues with parts of the parkway that need to be fixed. So it's not going to be fast and it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, you got to take it down to the gravel.
Yeah. And they don't want to do it.
Again.
They don't. Well, one thing, they don't want to do it because it would cost too much. The other thing is it would create so much chaos, because the parkway is used by whatever, thousands, tens of thousands of vehicles 7 days a week. So it's a difficult situation. But the main thing is they need money. But then don't we all?
Well, you can't bring money into it. That isn't going to solve all of our problems forever and ever. Look at the Treasury printing money like crazy. We're $40 trillion in debt.
Yeah, I know. They're spending money we don't have. I get it, but it doesn't make it right.
Normal. That's normal for the United States.
Yeah,
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, and Trump is making
no more.
Trump is making it worse than ever. You know, we were in a deep hole when he took office last year, and instead of trying to get things resolved, he keeps digging deeper, to the point where he's going to eventually get to China, and then they'll say, you are truly out of cash. Appreciate your call. It's 10:30. This is WNBF Binghamton, 607-772-1290. I'm Bob Joseph, WNBF. It's 10:33, looking like a rather nice week of weather for those who celebrate the weather. Here's the forecast. Some areas of fog this morning for a little bit longer. Otherwise today, partly sunny, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. High 83, partly cloudy tonight, low 62, mostly sunny tomorrow, high 82. Sunny Wednesday, a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 83. And right now in downtown Binghamton, it is 71, 22 Celsius. Air quality is remarkably, miraculously good. Air quality index is 19. I have no explanation. Here I thought we were going to get another dose of wildfire smoke, but apparently it's been delayed at the source. Dave from Vestal, you're on the air.
Yeah, good Monday morning to you, sir. How's it going?
It is going well.
Good. Bob, look, you reminded me of, well, first of all, you know, Big Lots on the Parkway now is now the Halloween store, Spirit now. You knew that.
I know. We did a news story. Don't you look at WNBF.com? Yeah. We had the scoop.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Well,
I went in there. I went in there about a month ago, and the guy was cleaning the dump out with a couple of his kids, and everything started off well when I was talking with him, and then suddenly he snapped. He turned on me and started using the F-bombs.
No kidding.
Yeah. It was scary. At one moment, he was just like you, friendly, folksy, and fun. And then, as though something in his brain snapped, he started dropping F-bombs. It was like, hey, I'm just a reporter. I came in, I identified myself. I said, basically, hey, what's up here? And everything was fine. And then suddenly he snapped. He snapped.
But you know what you got me thinking, though? When you're talking about, you know, doing the Parkway and Hochul coming and checking it out, she could stop in there, Bob, and pick up a new hat and broom while she's in town. What do you think?
No.
No. Okay. But hey.
Don't go there.
Okay.
Just
Well,
because
anyway.
you don't like her, it's because you don't have to. You're better than that. You don't look, Kathy Hochul. You don't have to agree with Kathy Hochul's policies or the way she's driving the state, but you don't have to be demeaning to her personally. I think as a person, I think she's probably one of our best governors.
Well, if the shoe fits, Bob. But the main reason why I called, I always read, the legal notices, that part of the newspaper. And I was reading yesterday, and I see there's a meeting, town of Union, and it caught my eye, Bob, because there's a gentleman applying for 2 variances for cultivating and processing and distributing.
Oh, cannabis. Yeah, I saw that.
What building? 1,900 square feet.
Well, what difference does it make to you?
Because I want to know.
Well, it's going to be secured. Trust me, there's more cannabis being grown in the southern tier than you might realize, but they don't advertise where they're going to. I did a story a few years ago because there was a guy who wanted to start growing some of the cannabis in a building here in Binghamton. And I called him, and he was like, "Oh, no, I don't want a news story." And I said, "Well, you talked about it in a public meeting, so what am I supposed to do?" And he's like, "Well, I don't think it should be covered." It was like he was scared that people like you would be coming to his building.
Well, I'm just curious, Bob. You and I both grew up in the town of Union, so wouldn't you want to know, Bob? I'd like to know.
Well, I'm a reporter. I want to know it all. I'm just saying, even if we knew, people like you wouldn't be able to get into the building because the state licensing requirements mandate very, very strict security. So they'll have cameras, they'll have people with electric gloves to shock the heck out of you. So if you even set foot on the property, you could be dead or worse.
I was just curious. I'm trying to figure out why they would need a variance, where it would be. It just bugs me.
If look on the Town of Union website, it's there. I'm not going to mention it, I believe.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay, I will.
Yeah. You don't have to at the moment. Now, this isn't to say that at some point I won't do a story about it. I might just, and because if it's on the public record, and I know once I do a story about it, I'm sure the guy who wants to do it will give me a call. Why did you put my address in the spotlight? Now every cannabis lover in the tri-state area is going to want to break in. And it'd be like, because it's on the public record. And as you know, the state cannabis regulators require that you have a secure facility. So if you're growing cannabis inside a building or outside in the wild, you have to provide proper security. So just because some news outlet publishes the address of your cannabis facility, it's not our fault. If you can't secure your facility, then you don't deserve a license.
I'll look it up, man.
Yeah, don't worry. It's as far as I know. I think when I was looking up something else last week, I think it's there. So it's not a state secret, nor should it be. And these days, the way cannabis is now, thanks to Andrew Cuomo, these days it's so ubiquitous. It's like they're going to have 4-year-olds smoking weeds.
Bob, I hope they pay when they have them working in the shop, Bob.
Well, of course they will. Of course, they'll be well paid. They'll be well paid. Probably health benefits. If they get cancer or whatever from smoking weeds. Probably some employee assistance program if they believe they have a psychological addiction to the weeds. I mean, it works. Our economy works well. If you've noticed, the economy in this country, we love, or at least in the past, in the 20th century, we loved people smoking tobacco. And then a new industry sprang up to help people who were addicted to tobacco. So billions of dollars were made that way. We know sadly, there are people with addiction issues with oxycodone and things like that. So another industry has sprung up. Do you know how much money that Narcan company is making? You know, the company that makes this naloxone, makes the naloxone. That's a profitable industry. They actually did a story about how much money the naloxone companies are making. It's huge.
I know. They're making a ton, Bob.
Yeah. What about, well, we could extend this. We get everybody eating half-pounders and pounders and Whoppers and Whopper Pluses, and even now they have this burger it's on a pretzel roll with bacon and extra fat, so they're fattening people up, and then the next week, everybody has to go on these weight loss drugs. So I love the way our economy works. Everybody wins.
Yeah, I drove by that Burger King in Enwell there yesterday. And
it's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Poor guys, they don't have room to put in another drive-through lane. Really, what a bad location.
It certainly is. It's always been a pain there.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't even, when you exit, you can't even make a left turn legally.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people.
Oh, I know. That's why I added the word legally. No, trust me, in our society, nobody actually cares what the law says.
Didn't it used to be that way at the McDonald's down in Endicott? You couldn't turn left at one time?
It still is. They have about 25 signs, and yet people, despite the 25 signs and symbols that make it clear you can't turn left out of that McDonald's near the arch, I've seen people do it.
Just take those signs down, Bob. We don't need them.
No, Endicott needs those signs. That accounts for 17% of their revenue every year as issuing tickets to people who turn left there.
No, wait, who sits there and watch? I don't ever see anything.
Anytime they need money. They don't need money every day, but especially toward the end of the year when they're trying to figure out, they run the budget for the holiday party. If the holiday party budget is going to be $10,000, then they figure how many no left turn tickets they have to issue over at the McDonald's.
Bob, they can even make even more money if they would sit near UE High School. Bob, they speed through. They don't
speed as much anymore since they put in that new traffic signal that's designed to keep people from getting killed.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's better. I'm not saying some people don't speed, but it's a lot better than it was before that new pedestrian activated signal. So when somebody is trying to cross without getting killed, now they actually stand a chance. I think I know it cost a lot of money for the DOT to install, but I think it was a smart move because who knows how many people haven't been hit over the last year and a half since the new signal was installed.
You're right. It is better.
Yeah.
But people still speed because I can see them going by me while I'm doing the speed limit.
I know. Same in Johnson City. I mean, Johnson City has that school zone too. And Johnson City cops are pretty good about monitoring that school zone right near the church, right at the corner of Main and Leicester. So they monitor that for people going faster than 20 miles an hour when school's in session. So, but it does have to be constantly patrolled. I think you'll see when school resumes in a couple of weeks in Endicott, at least for the first week or so, you probably will see a lot of marked Endicott patrols out there. And trust me, they're willing. I've seen when they are set up on a detail, they do write a lot of paper.
Why wouldn't you, Bob? Why would you want to speed through work zones and school zones? And why would you want to? Why would you want to put people in danger? I don't know why people do it, Bob. I
think it's the socialists and the communists, to be honest.
Bob, speaking of driving, I was thinking the other day I was behind a car that said student driver. Bob, what if we were all made to put what kind of driver we are, some kind of sticker on our car? What kind of driver would you be, Bob? How would you label yourself?
The best.
The best?
The very best. Only that like Hellman's mayonnaise, that's the kind of driver I am. When only the best will do.
Not angry or...
No, never angry. Never angry. Always thoughtful, always kind. always happy. Always happy, even when some illegal e-bike user cuts me off. I'm one of the few drivers who never uses his digits.
Never, ever.
I won't say I never have. I haven't done it in several years. For one thing, I don't want to be killed. Thing is, you flip off the wrong person these days, that could be met with instant gunfire or worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's why I don't do it. I don't have a death wish. To be honest, I'm human too. So if somebody does something that frosts my flakes, my initial inclination certainly might be to flip her off. But then you think, well, what if she's got an automatic weapon and wants to blow my head off?
Down in New York City, they flip and duck, Bob, down there.
Well, there's no point. In New York City, there's no point whether you're a pedestrian or a driver. There's absolutely no point in engaging people because, let's face it, ever since Mamdani took over, all bets are off, in my opinion. Appreciate your call. Obviously, I'm kidding. Actually, things, as far as I can tell, in New York City over the last 7.5 months, I think things have gotten a lot better. I think they're going to get even better once he opens up his grocery store chain. Yes, Mamdani's. I'm going down for the grand opening just to try their old-fashioned subs at Mamdani's. I hope it's such a big success in the city. I hope they bring up one for Binghamton. Mamdani's, the friendly store that saves you more. 607-772-1290. This is Bob Joseph on a Monday morning on WNBF. It's 10:52. Thank you for tuning in to the magic that is radio in 2026. Enjoy it while quantities last because, like all good things, this too will come to an end. Here's a flash, apparently official, from the Supreme Court. And I'm reading from the Trump Post, of all things. Donald Trump's favorite tabloid reporting the Supreme Court has again rebuffed him in the $5 million E. Jean Carroll case. Rebuffing Donald Trump for a second time, the Supreme Court today declined to hear his appeal of a $5 million verdict in favor of E. Jean Carroll after a jury found him liable for sexually abusing and defaming the former magazine columnist. This is a story on the New York Post website, posted just minutes ago. It's not written by the Trump Post columnists or reporters. It's written by Reuters. The justices rejected Trump's request to reconsider the previous decision denying its appeal of a 2023 jury award stemming from allegations. I'm not going to go into the disturbing and disgusting allegations. Trump's lawyers contend that the trial was unfair, but the Supreme Court, which of course is stacked in favor of Donald Trump, is also weighing his appeal of a separate $83 million jury verdict for defaming Carroll during his first term as president when he denied the claims and asserted that she lied about the accusations. Trump's lawyers in that appeal argue presidential immunity shields him from Carroll's claims and that lower courts wrongly decided that he had forfeited that defense. Trump has been battling Carroll ever since she published an excerpt from her memoir in which she alleged that Trump was very bad. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go further because I don't want to disturb our more sensitive viewers. If you want more details, of course, you can always go online because all those details are presented in explicit detail online. That's why we have the internet. It's 10:55 at News Radio, WNBF and WNBF.com. It's 10:58. Oh, a flash just in. The reopening of 3 Broome County bridges in Kirkwood has been delayed because, I love saying that, not because. The opening of 3 county bridges in Kirkwood has been delayed due to a delay in receiving materials needed to complete the project. Those bridges on County Route 20 were expected to reopen September 1st. Now they might reopen by the end of the day on September 9th. Bridges are on County Route 20 over the Susquehanna River, Norfolk Southern Railroad. Also, the bridge over the NYS&W Railroad and the bridge over Main Street in Kirkwood. Once the bridge reopens, there will be some single-lane closures as the work is completed. The overall project apparently is still on schedule and should be completed in October. So again, if you thought that those bridges in Kirkwood would reopen on September 1st, you've got another thing coming. Another think coming. So they won't reopen September 1st. Right now, they should reopen by the end of the day on September 9th. So there you go. You heard it here. It's better you hear it from me than from some wacko out on the street. Am I right? I'm Bob Joseph.
News, talk, and information for Binghamton and Central New York. This is News Radio, WNBF Binghamton, a Town Square media station.
All right, let's take calls, shall we? The calls will be processed in the order in which they're received. We begin the hour with Beverly in the town of Dickinson.
Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
It's Beverly.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Beverly. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Is Josh Riley's running for Congress again?
He is. I haven't heard from him lately, but he is running for another term.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He knows about this area. He's done a lot for this area, so I'm voting for him.
He's going to be back on the program.
When?
Soon.
Oh, that'd be nice. I like him. He's down to earth. He's young, but he has good ideas.
He grew up in West Endicott.
Yeah, I know he did, and he's got a petition about NISAC, and
he should get together with Bruce Blakeman. So I'm just thinking, Josh Riley and Bruce Blakeman fighting together could get the utility rates cut in half.
Yeah, that would be nice, you know. That'd be real nice.
That way we could afford to eat.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's terrible how these things are going up. Guys, the price of oil has gone up. You know, I'm afraid when the budget comes out next year that it's going to be more than what I paid $200 last year, but now I had to pay $35 more a month, which I didn't really have, but I budgeted it in, you know. But we have to have heat for the house, though.
Yeah. Do you know who did that?
Trump.
Yeah. Say it loud.
Trump.
Louder.
Trump.
Say it like you mean it. President Trump.
I mean, President Donald Trump should lower the gas prices.
Thank you. And oil.
And the oil prices.
Gas and oil.
These oil places are making a profit. At one time they said they made 40% profit. Well, naturally they did.
Yeah, the oil companies are raking in excessive profits thanks to the war.
I wish it would end. I mean, there's too many innocent people passing away, you know?
What about all those girls that got killed when the school got bombed on the first day of the war?
Yeah, that's awful.
You know, and still the United States refuses to apologize.
Well, Bob, if it was a girls' school, they should have. He should have thought about that. I don't know how many girls died in that school, but I know it was quite a few of them.
I think it was more than 100 girls at the school were killed, and teachers.
Yeah, well, that's terrible. But he says that we're progressing. I don't see where we're progressing anything when the things are going up. I don't see anything that we're maybe his pocket.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know.
He's laughing all the way to the banks.
Well, that's a possibility, But
And now that, according to the latest, it looks like 120 children were killed in the bombing at the school.
That's awful.
And everybody is asking, what was their crime? All they were doing was going to school to try to learn things.
Yep, that's right.
So those children, mainly girls, all they wanted was to make the world a better place, along with their teachers.
Right, that's true. When I was in high school, we used to read about different countries and stuff, But some of these countries they won't let the women. They won't let them out of their house. They have to do what the government says, and so forth. And they reach a certain age or something like that. They cut them off from learning and everything. That's not right.
I agree. Hope you have a good day.
You too, Bob.
11:18 WNBF with Bob Joseph. If you have things to talk about, if you're sick and tired of the quagmire called Trump's war, let us know. If you have any solutions at this point, it appears impossible for the war to end in the next 2.5 years. But if you have ideas on how he can end the war, you can call him in here, and he certainly is free to use whatever ideas are brought up by our viewers. John in Shenango Bridge, good morning.
Yes.
What's up?
I got a question. Is anybody concerned about the sewer rate increase in the town of Shenango?
Yes.
Because I got this letter, and they want to raise mine $264 and change per year. That's quite a hike, but they're blaming it on the paying off the debt and stuff. And that seems like a bunch of BS, because when they instituted this, they should have had financing and put it forward before they even started the project. And what I see, believe it or not, it says, I almost think it's because of Kathy Hochul's increase in the electric rates that they're charging us for this increase, because I also see that the town assessment on school taxes was really dropped on the STAR program.
One thing, Kathy Hochul has nothing to do with the electric rates.
Well, she most certainly does.
Well, then tell her to lower the rates. Just like Bruce Blakeman in his commercial said he was going to lower utility rates by 50% when he becomes governor in January. That's fantasy. Bruce Blakeman, Kathy Hochul, Bob Joseph, nobody can lower New York utility rates.
A little bit.
Huh?
Back up the truck here a little bit, because here at the end of June, Kathy Hochul said that she's going to electric rates are going up, but she was going to reduce them in 2027. And a couple of weeks later, you had the Public Service Commission go to find NICEAG $20 million for the poor performance.
Right. But again, Kathy Hochul doesn't run the Public Service Commission. It's the commission that approves rates. And as far as I know, I don't know 100% for certain, but I don't believe the Public Service Commission can even reduce electric rates. They can, if NYSEG comes up with another rate proposal, which of course they will. They're always coming up with rate proposals. They have to. Their costs are going up too. So the next time NYSEG comes up with a rate proposal, the Public Service Commission can either approve it in full, reject it, or approve a partial rate increase. They're not going to lower rates.
Well, I got to stop you here a second. When Josh Riley got elected, he's the one that said, come on the news on Channel 12, and he said that he was suing NYSEG.
Yeah, anybody can sue anybody. I could sue them too, and they could sue him. Problem is, suing people isn't going to lower our rates. If anything, it's going to raise the rates. So if he sues NYSEG, they're going to pay money to defend themselves, as they ought to, and then ultimately, they're probably going to raise our rates to pay for the legal expenses. Well, again, if somebody wants to explain to me, whether it's Kathy Hochul, Bruce Blakeman, Josh Riley, I don't care. Mamdani, I don't care who you're talking about. They can't lower electric rates. I hear it being said on interviews or in commercials, there is no one, the only person who could, theoretically, I guess, lower electric rates is the person who runs NYSEG. But she's not going to do it because they can't afford to. Here's a news bulletin. NYSEG cannot afford to lower electric rates. Their costs are higher today than they were a year ago, and they're a lot higher than they were a decade ago. And NYSEG is continuing to pour money into beefing up the grid to meet the needs, the power needs of New Yorkers and for future data centers. Look, we need power. We're power hungry. So NYSEG has to make sure that its infrastructure can handle the power needs of the next 1 or 2 decades, and it's not going to be cheap. It's going to cost billions of dollars. So anybody who tells you that they have a plan for reducing energy rates, you tell them, explain in detail how you intend to pull that off. And the answer is they can't. If they can, they should call the program, and this includes Josh Riley, Kathy Hochul, Bruce Blakeman, anybody who thinks they can reduce electric rates for New Yorkers, or those who think they could reduce electric rates for people in Pennsylvania or anywhere in America. Explain in detail how you will do it. I'll listen. I'll put you on the air. I will give your call priority handling, because not only do I want to know how you intend to do it, every American wants to know. So don't just say you can do it. Explain exactly how you'll do it. And for those who are currently in office, and that includes Kathy Hochul and Josh Riley, if you're talking about somehow reducing electric rates, why haven't you done it already? What are you waiting for? To get reelected? And as far as the challengers, including Bruce Blakeman, notice how he hasn't called in to explain. He's run those commercials saying he will reduce energy rates if he becomes governor in January. He's not going to call in because he can't do it. 607-772-1290. On the other hand, if you think that you know how anyone can reduce energy rates in New York State, hey, call in. Explain. If it's a good idea, I'll send it directly to Governor Hochul. Bob Joseph with you, a Monday morning, live and local on WNBF. Hi, welcome to our
Hi,
little
Bob.
dance party.
It is kind of a dance party.
Monday morning. Did you notice I tried to get rid of all the red cups? I mean, apparently the kids are back in town, so they left like thousands of these red plastic cups around.
There are always two good signs of that, Bob. One, the parking garage is so full that you have to go up to the third and fourth levels. Yeah. And then there's the trail of beer cans and red Solo cups all around downtown Binghamton. So,
and I think a lot of the students coming back to town are extremely disappointed because the Boscov's walkway is out of service. Isn't that a shame?
It is a shame. But
it's a darn shame.
It's a darn shame.
And they just opened that up. It's brand new. And now they're having trouble, and nobody knows why. It's confidential.
It's highly, maybe aliens did it.
Remember, I showed you.
You did show me.
I showed you personally to show you it's really damaged. It's not something that the liberal media made up. Very sad.
It's very sad.
Why we can't have nice things. Oh, well, somebody told me they do plan to fix it, and it's expected to be open by the end of 2037. So,
well, good.
Just in time for them to have to announce they're closing the parking garage because it's outlived its useful life. Time to build a new one.
Yeah.
Because they don't last. But they got the plans from well,
hopefully this one lasts beyond 2037. So
I think they got their plans from Apple. Have to replace the parking garage every 24 months.
Well, okay, there you go.
I'm kidding.
That's a successful model.
Well, hey, planned obsolescence, that's what makes America great.
There you go. That's not you and me, Bobby.
No.
We're not obsolete.
No.
We're not going to be phased out.
Anyway, the legendary Eric Donaldson is with us again as he frequently shows up. What do you show up, 3 or 4 times a year now?
Well, we do 3 job fairs a year, and so, yes, this is job fair number 3 coming up this Wednesday.
At the Oakdale Commons.
At Oakdale Commons from 11 until 2.
Tell us about some of the local employers who will be there.
Yeah, we've got 14 businesses plus Town Square Media, so 15 businesses will be in Center Court. And for those of you that remember back to the days of Bonton, that's the area. And if you haven't been there in a while, the mall office is now located up in that section of Oakdale Commons as well, as they make... as they continue to build out the whole Marshalls complex.
Oh, yeah, they said Marshalls will be opening next year.
Yeah, so the mall office is right there in Center Court, and that's where we will be on Wednesday. And the 14 businesses, some have been with us before, and we've got some new businesses. So Amrex Chemical, you just heard that commercial a little bit ago, one of our good local businesses that will be there looking primarily for CDL Class A drivers. Egan Simon Enterprises is a new business joining us. They are one of the businesses that contracts with Federal Express and works out of the hub here in Binghamton. And again, they're looking also for Class A drivers. Willow Run Foods, another business that's been with us many, many times, again, looking for drivers. Good Shepherd Communities, back for this job fair, and they've got a big variety of things in the healthcare fields that they're looking for. Cooperative Feed Dealers, another new business with us this time around, looking for CDL Class A drivers, along with Commodity Trade Logistics Assistants, which is also a full-time job. Oneonta Job Corps Academy had joined us for the first time back in May, and they are with us again with a variety of opportunities. New York Army National Guard will be there. Greater Binghamton Health Center. Another new business is Empowering People's Independence. And they are specifically looking for direct support professionals. So that's in the universe of health care and helping people. The Guthrie Clinic, looking for a wide variety of positions. New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, always looking for corrections officers. Johnson City School District will be there. They're looking for bus drivers, bus monitors, and bus mechanics. Marabato joining us again with a whole range of opportunities from their home comfort and HVAC categories to their convenience stores. And UHS, United Health Services, will be there, again, looking for a wide variety of healthcare-related positions.
And this all takes place conveniently.
Very conveniently. I'll tell you, if people haven't been in Oakdale Commons, what they have done, you have to really tip your hat. They've done an incredible job. They've just put a tremendous amount of thought into everything that's going on up there. And so, yeah, it's a great place for this kind of an event because parking is obviously abundant. And
they won't give you a ticket.
And you
unlike some places. I'm not going to name places that give out tickets when you show up, but there are some places, that are more than happy to issue high price tickets.
Yes, there are. So, but no, it's a great facility, and everyone that we work with up there has just been so gracious and has made it a great place to do these events. So we'll be there this Wednesday, August 19th, from 11 until 2. Be sure to, if you know people that are considering returning to the area, or if you are looking for new career opportunities, it's definitely worth a walk through the 15 businesses that'll be in Center Court on Wednesday.
All right, Eric Donaldson, thank you so much. I'm sure you'll be back on the program.
I'll be back the next time you have a dance party. I'll be here.
Yes. That's what we call it, Studio 92.1. The good old days. Bringing back memories of the disco era.
Lord.
When I used to hang out with my good friend Steve Rebell over on West 54th Street, and a lot of times we didn't get home till 8 or 9 the next morning.
Oh, boy.
Good times. Good times.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Yep.
All right. Let's get back to the phone lines, 607-772-1290. Joe from Greater Ithaca. Good morning.
Yes, this is the only time in history I've called twice in the same day, but this is priority. This is about the electric bill. Blakeman's statement about the state's electric bills. And this is from WLEA with that. I don't know if you know what that is. WLEA, apparently it's a radio station. And it's a paragraph here, goes on, but it quotes, "When I am governor, this state-sponsored extortion will end. I will cut your electric bill in half and make New York affordable." Well, cutting the bill in half is a little different than lowering the rates. Cutting the bill in half means you're just going to get billed twice monthly. Okay.
And when did that story appear?
July 22, 2026. And I just grabbed it where I could find it, but this says WLEA Southern Tier 1480 AM. That's a radio station? Is it a WEGO or something?
I have no idea. It was definitely not a WEGO.
Okay, I just looking at that frequency, and there used to be WEBO was somewhere in the 1400s.
EBO was 1330, but
13. Okay, yeah.
But well, I mean, they're certainly entitled. I still don't get how he's going to reduce electric rates.
Well, he doesn't say that. He says he's going to cut the bill in half. Okay, and that's
but why would anybody want that?
No, it's just what he's doing. He just wants to say things, and he says other things that don't add up like that.
That's my point. And so does Josh Riley. Hasn't Josh Riley said something about reducing electric rates? I mean, again...
Well, he's all wet. He's not going to do the electric rates.
But help me understand how anyone, I don't care if it's Bruce Blakeman, Kathy Hochul, Joe from Greater Ithaca, Josh Riley, how could anyone reduce any energy rate?
Well, see, you don't do the energy thing, but any of those politicians you mentioned, the only thing you could do is decrease or eliminate the sales tax on it.
But they're not going to.
I know that, yes.
Well,
but I'm saying if
they were going to do it, they would say that. They will not do it.
like theoretically, that's the only way they can do it,
But they're not going to. And by the way, that's disingenuous. Same thing. They could say, well, gasoline prices. I am going to reduce gasoline prices in New York State. And then they turn around to reduce the state or local tax on gas. It's not reducing the price of gas. That's reducing a tax on the product.
That's correct.
So
that's correct.
I don't like, if you don't mind me saying, I don't like being deceived.
Well, that's like I don't like what Blakeman says.
Why?
I
like what he says. I just don't. I don't see how it's going to save me one penny. If I get twice as many bills, that's more. That's even more irritating. I'd rather get a single bill once a year, just for the full, and then let me decide if I want to pay it. I am tired of getting monthly bills and seeing how much higher my rates are. Just send me a bill every 3 months or every 4 months or once a year. I don't want more bills.
See, I just made that up about 2 bills per month.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that I don't get it, but I do.
No, I'm just reiterating. I'm sure you did, but if anybody's listening to it, they'll think, well, this guy's nuts, or something. So,
Well, so what do you think? Bruce Blakeman, he's going to do well in upstate New York?
Not at all. Well, upstate
He just
New
got
York,
endorsed. He just got endorsed by Trump. Trump endorsed him.
He'll be just like Binghamton or something. He'll be close to 50-50, but he won't make 50-50 in Binghamton or.
I found it interesting that he's wrapping himself in the Donald Trump flag the other day when Trump was on Long Island. I'm thinking, wait, that's further evidence Bruce Blakeman doesn't want to be governor. Because everywhere I go, even among Republicans, Trump is not popular.
It's another Trump. He doesn't care. He doesn't care whether he makes it or not, but he's just going to go out and throw it out there and see what happens.
All right. Well, he's entitled. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that the Republicans ran a statewide candidate who didn't care. It's not going to be the last. The last, in my recollection, the last time the Republicans ran a candidate for governor who cared was Pataki, and he barely cared.
Wasn't Bill Clinton a throwaway to begin with? He couldn't win anyway.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm saying.
Probably Obama. Obama, nobody gave Obama a chance because he was, some kind of state senator or something from Illinois. I don't recall. He didn't stand a chance, and then ultimately, he shocked all the pundits, and he was elected not just once but twice, and he's the most popular president in our lifetime. So
Bush Jr. He didn't want to run. He says they'll nail me on drunk driving.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah,
you sound like Dan Rather now.
Well, I mean that was true though. But
that was years ago. And I'll tell you what. You say what you want about George W. Bush. At least when he was in Binghamton, he answered my questions.
Oh, I would take him any day now.
George W. Bush would be a breath of fresh air.
I would be so happy with him,
I would welcome, give George W. Bush another run at the White House. The one thing you could say about, he may not have been perfect, but the one thing he never did was tear down any part of the White House.
No, really.
He showed respect.
Anybody, I would take anybody, any Republican.
I would take you.
This is the first time. Oh, what happened?
Well, I'm still here.
Were you there?
No, I haven't gone anywhere. I have no place to go.
I just got an interrupt. Well, I'll tell you, this is the first time, and I'm an old man. This is the first time I feel I could do a better job than our president.
You could.
Our president. Yeah, really.
You could, and I'll say this: Endicott's Nick Burlingame, the mayor of Endicott, could do a heck of a lot better than Trump. Any mayor in Broome County, any mayor in Tioga County, any mayor in Tompkins County or Otsego County, they all, I don't care party affiliation, I don't care age, political experience, every mayor in upstate New York, heck, Katie Wilson in Seattle could be a better president than Trump. Yeah. And I mean that sincerely.
I would just get good people.
Well, that's all we need. I didn't say Katie Wilson would be the best president, but she'd be better. She'd get the war She'd shut down the war so fast, make your head spin.
You know, it reminds me of the time I went to a get-together after a funeral, and nobody would say anything good about the guy. Nobody. So one guy says, I'll say something. He said, well, here's what I got to say. His brother was worse.
Oh, that's harsh. Thank you for your call. Katie Wilson for president. Bring America back to reality. I'm Bob Joseph, just coming up with ideas here to make America better again. 607-772-1290. It's Monday Morning Live on my favorite station, WNBF. Let's go back to the phones. It's Matthew, as in former Binghamton Mayor Matt Ryan in Binghamton. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Hey, I'd just like to say that about the thing that nobody can do anything. It seems, all these things seem impossible, but right now I agree that Keep the Lights Local Act that Josh Riley proposed has little chance of succeeding in a completely divided Congress. That might change in November. However, the real thing that he's doing that will impact bills, I think, is he's formally intervened as a party in NYSEG's rate case, which is before the Public Service Commission right now. And because it's state regulators, not Congress, that set local utility delivery rates, participating directly in the PSC proceedings allows them to legally challenge NYSEG's rate hikes, demand audits, and cross-examine executives where rate decisions are actually made. So, I think there's a lot of other things we need to do as a country and in a state to lower rates if we really want to lower them, which would be to completely embrace. Just the fact that we've got a president who doesn't believe in, it calls it a big, a con job, the green energy and everything that was.
Yeah. He's just appealing to his 22% base. I would say, though, you're completely wrong when you suggest anybody, you or anyone else, can lower rates. That's my point. No one can or will lower electric rates.
Well, you can try to control them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being honest. If I hear one more person, whether they're a candidate or a current office holder, say they can lower electric rates, I might just blurt out the L word. They can't and they won't lower electric rates. Could electric rates be controlled better? Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. We looked at every model, and that's what one thing that bugs me is, like, we really want to be a more perfect union in every respect and every kind of thing. Are we looking at every way to do it? I mean, under the current, I agree with you, under the current situation and what people think they can accomplish, if they're not pushing the envelope all the time, that's why people are really looking for people who want to, are going to challenge what's going on right now. I agree with you. If we stick with the status quo in our government, we won't get a lot done. But that doesn't mean that things couldn't change, and then maybe there is chance for looking at things in a different way.
No, I don't doubt that things could be looked at in a different way. I'm saying there is absolutely no way in my lifetime that electric rates are going to be lowered. And you agree with that, too. In your lifetime, electric rates in New York and Pennsylvania will not be lowered.
I do not completely accept that, but I do think it's going to be very difficult.
Tell me the scenario. I'm interested. You explain, Matt, the scenario under which electric rates in New York State could be lowered.
Rates. Elon Musk, for as much as I don't really like him, his whole scheme was to create solar-powered battery units for.
Wait. Let's not get off on a tangent. I'm saying, even with other technology, there are other technologies in terms of producing electricity. I'm saying there is no way that electric rates in New York will ever be reduced, period, full stop. And you tell me how I'm wrong.
Well, I'd suggest if you really embrace every possibility to put competition into
But rates will never come down. They'll be better controlled. Look, NYSEG's costs as of August 17th, 2026 are fixed. NYSEG's costs are not going to come down appreciably anyway for them, even if they wanted to. Say if NYSEG decided today, their board of directors ordered the CEO to take steps to lower their rates, they just couldn't do it because their fixed cost, as far as the overall, the cost they pay their employees, the cost they pay to run their vehicles and so on, are not going to come down. Even if some of the other costs came down, they would not be in a position to reduce their rates by 1 penny.
Would you agree that one of the issues that always comes up is the reason the rates are going up is because they have so much maintenance to do on everything they own and all the transmission lines, and more horrible storms. They have to do all that. We all agree with that, I think. So what if we start developing systems, especially for rural people that don't, it's harder to get transmission lines all over, where with the technology, I agree with you, the rates, the only way you're going to change rates and change the whole thing is by expanding what you're going to try to do to address how people get their energy. And that's a long-term project, but and you don't know where that's going to lead. We might not.
No, I don't know where it's going to lead, but I tell you, there is no way in Halstead that electric rates are ever going to be reduced. Controlling the rate of increase is another thing. Actually reducing electric rates is unrealistic. It won't happen.
Well, you're
just be honest. Just be honest, because nobody can explain to me how electric rates in the next 5 years in New York can be reduced.
Now you said 5 years. It might be a long term.
Well,
plan.
A lot of us don't have that kind of time to wait. If people actually think that they're going to bring down electric rates, they had better be more specific, because nobody has been specific. And you say, well, if we do all these other things, yeah, we could do a lot of other things, but that's not realistic because we live in a real world where real businesses and real politicians, Republicans and Democrats, are going to block it.
It's all right. Wait. I know you're going to cut me off pretty soon, but here's the deal.
I'm only going to cut you off because the program's nearly over.
Okay, but here's the deal. There are plenty of places in the world right now where they are developing systems that don't rely on the massive infrastructure that you need to run an operation like NYSEG. Every developing country, I have friends that are developing.
I know. I read the internet too. I don't dispute that. But none of what you've said means we're going to see electric rates reduced in New York State ever.
Well, let me just ask you this: if we had that thing, what do the gas guzzling cars that we used to have there's ways you can if you use all your ingenuity and technology, you can create many things that lower costs. I mean, if we didn't believe in that, then the cars we used to have, none of them got over 15 miles per gallon. Now they're getting over 40 miles per gallon.
All right. Well, I obviously have been unsuccessful. Appreciate your call. I rest my case. Thank you, Matt. It's 11:55. WNBF 607-772-1290. Sorry, I was too busy shaking my head. I'll try to stop during this break. Dave from Vestal, you're on the air.
Hey, Bob, you keep mentioning Katie Wilson there, and I wanted to know if you were aware that a petition has been filed to recall her because she's done such a wonderful job.
Sure, and what it means is she'll soon be on a fast track back to Binghamton to launch her campaign for mayor here. So after she no longer is busy in Seattle, she can come back home to Binghamton's West Side and start campaigning as a Republican candidate for mayor.
And they're doing it because what, Bob? Something I've been preaching for years. It's top of the list, public safety.
Right. So public safety is a big issue here in Binghamton. And Katie Wilson, I think, knows a lot about the safety, especially of the West Side neighborhoods. So I think she might give serious consideration when she returns to Binghamton to running for mayor or maybe first city council. I appreciate your call. Thank you. And Katie Wilson may not have a big future in Seattle, but she may have a very big political future in her hometown of Binghamton. We'll have to see. Stay tuned. I'm Bob Joseph.
News, talk, and information for Binghamton and Central New York. This is News Radio, WNBF Binghamton, a Town Square media station.